Before we begin, I just want to say that this video isn't for everybody. What do I mean by that? Well, not everybody wants to go and build a business. Not everybody wants to go and become an entrepreneur, an athlete, a social media influencer. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to grow. And not everybody wants to go and chase after their dream. They are just happy to live the life the way they are and not change anything, which is fine. That's not a problem. If that's what makes you happy, if that's what you want to do, brilliant. Go ahead. I want you to do what you want to do. However, this video is for people who want to improve themselves, get better at whatever it is that they're doing. They want to chase their dream. And in order to achieve all of that, you will be lonely. Perhaps not lonely in a sense where you feel lonely, but you are going to spend a lot of time alone, working, studying, thinking, writing things down, doing, traveling. You are going to do things alone. A lot of boring, tedious, repetitive things alone. But that's just what it takes. When you decide to grow, you will lose people. Not literally, but you will lose people. You're going to lose friends. You are going to lose the social groups that you hang around with. You're going to be viewed differently, and things are going to change. But you will lose people, no matter what. When you improve and you work on yourself, you are going to be doing things that very likely they aren't doing, or very few people that surround you are also doing. Because if you decide to make a change, let's say you're going to start the gym, and a large majority of your friends don't go to the gym, and they don't plan to, and no matter what you say, they won't, you are already changing. You are already becoming different from them. And people don't tend to like that. People don't tend to accept that. So by the time you know it, you might actually become a little bit separated from these people. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, nobody wants to lose friends. You want to be friends with people. You became friends with them in the first place for a reason, right? You like them. They liked you. You got on. But as soon as things changed, you changed, they changed, you lost them as a friend. That's a positive change. Because a true friend, whether they want to join you or not, will still stay your friend and will support you in your decision. If you decide you want to start a business, a side hustle, a second job, you want to do something to earn extra money for yourself, or create something that will earn you extra money, or maybe even replace your full-time job in the future, there's a very high chance that you'll end up doing that on your own. I know for a fact that you're going to be doing a lot of things alone anyway, whether people decide to join you or not. Because when you're starting a business or a side hustle, or you do something separate to earn more money, you are going to have to dedicate a certain amount of time to that thing. With that, you'll obtain extra responsibility. You are going to have to start saying no a lot more, and you're going to have to dedicate your time elsewhere. And some people will not like that. Some people want to remain as they are because people don't tend to like change. But you decided to make change. However, they didn't. And if they are closely associated with you, there's a very high chance they'll become distant. They will go and find someone else that will want to do whatever they want to do. So I want you to think about the fact that you will do a lot of things alone, and you will have to say no, not only to yourself, but to people around you, and just get things done. Now, instead of jumping on the PlayStation or flicking on Netflix when you get home, you are going to have to dedicate time differently. And that time will more than likely, once again, be spent alone, working on your things and yourself. You have to be prepared for them not accepting it either, because you might come up with this grand idea and it might be brilliant. It might actually be the thing that sets you apart from the rest, makes you a millionaire, whatever. It might be wonderful and it will work absolute wonders for you in your life. However, some people might not see that, or they might simply just not believe in it, and they'll just reject it. I don't want you to become discouraged by not being seen by other people. Just because they don't agree with it, it doesn't mean that it's a bad idea, that it's not going to work, or it's going to make you broke, or whatever it is. Because they don't know that. They aren't in your shoes. You can make it work. Maybe they can't. And that's why they don't want to agree. Maybe because they're jealous. Because you are going out there and doing the things that they're afraid to do. So do not be discouraged and go out there and work on you and your things. Do not think about what other people think. There is also another side of this loneliness when you try and create something that's for you. Something like, let's say, a business or a new social media page or a YouTube channel, for that instance. There's going to be that loneliness where it's just you. Nobody's there to clap. Nobody's there to cheer you on. It's just you. There's this massive, giant, auditorium with so many empty seats, and only one is taken. And that seat is you. Just sat there, cheering yourself on. But you need to do that. You need to do that. It's fine to do things alone. And it's fine to start out alone as well. Because as you grow as a person, you are automatically going to attract and drive people towards you with a similar vision or with a similar view on life. And from then on, by the time you know it, you'll be surrounded by like-minded people, or you'll be surrounded by a team you've built yourself. So cheer yourself on, because it's going to be worth it in the end. During your journey of growth, you are going to be misunderstood. Not everybody is going to agree or understand with your ways of thinking or ways of living. Because on a Saturday night, if you say, sorry, I can't go out because I need to have an early night, because Sunday morning I'm going for a photo shoot, or I have a video to edit, or you need to go and sort something out for a business or for your website, and you need to be up in the morning because you need to get it done. Whereas they're like, well, why can't we just go tan? You could just do it tomorrow, you'll be fine. Or, oh, it don't matter, you don't need that much sleep. They will not see your view. They will not see your ways of thinking. So they're not going to accept that, which will more than likely mean they might cast you aside. And this will, in turn, force that lonely chapter into your life because you're misunderstood. Because they just can't fathom the fact of getting up, at 6 a.m. and going for a run. The fact that you're turning down partying because you're basically saying no to a good time, right? Because that's what it usually is. A good time, a good laugh, let your guard down, you get silly, whatever. You're saying no to that in order to say yes to discipline and work and things that are boring. Well, seem boring. Personally, I don't think they are. But to a lot of people, they will be. But once again, that's fine. I accept that. And I need you to do the same. Accept the fact that people will think that what you're doing is either boring or ridiculous or stupid or just whatever. Just let them think what they want to think. Accept it. Because you're not going to change their opinions. And why should you? Just focus on yourself and focus on the things you want to focus on. Because as I've mentioned previously, as you're doing that, you will attract people with the exactly same mindset, or at least something very similar to you, and they will understand that moments of pleasure and just chill time is earned rather than given, and they'll do it a lot less frequently, just the same way you are now, because you are setting time aside to work on the business, work on yourself, work on your physique, whatever it may be. They will see that and understand that. So allow yourself to be misunderstood. Don't try and change their opinions, because they won't budge anyway. If that's what they think, that's what they think. Instead, just do whatever it is that you want to do. The lonely chapter might seem scary or intimidating or boring. I seem to be throwing that word around a lot. But I think that's just what I hear very often when I tell people what I'm going to do. However, I want you to think of that period as the tough times that just grow you, that mold you into somebody different, and they really push you in a certain direction, in a direction that you've always wanted to go, but you just never took the initiative to do so. Think of it as that time, as the time that pushes you. This is something that Chris Williamson actually said. I don't know if it's a quote by him or somebody else, but as you grow and develop, you are going to lose friends and people, but in that time frame, you are not going to be sufficiently developed enough in order to obtain your new set of friends. So you're going to be in that part, in that section of your timeline where it's just you, prodding along, getting better, working, grinding away until you get to the end. And things will just become a reality then, rather than thoughts and ideas. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows, but it's going to be a time period that you will be grateful for. You will be grateful for the fact that you took that step, took the initiative to understand and make a change and just go for it. And another thing, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. It might certainly feel like it at times, but it's not. Eventually, you get to your goals. Eventually, you meet that special person. Eventually, you build a team of people. However it pans out and whatever it may be, eventually it stops and something else begins. More often than not, that's something else, something that you've wanted, something that you've been working towards. As tempting as it might be just to say, right, this is just not going anywhere, don't stop, because you have no idea when you're going to make your breakthrough. So don't let yourself down. Thank you for tuning in to today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and you've taken away something from it. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe and like the video. It will help me out an absolute ton. And after you've done that, you might be interested in the previous video, which I uploaded last week, where we talk about talking less and doing more, which perfectly ties in with this week's topic of the lonely chapter. And as always, I'll see you next week.